Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Heart for the Community Initiative third annual Black Business Showcase. This is episode 2 of 2023. We are so psyched and glad to be able to bring you this series. Once again, we are doing it for the Black owned businesses in the DMV area. Now, there may be some in the viewing audience that think that DMV means Division of Motor Vehicles. Well, not here in this region. In this region, DMV means DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And so here we are in the region and we're highlighting Black owned businesses. This is Heart for the Community Initiative's way to celebrate our Black businesses during Black History Month. And like I said, this is our third annual year of doing it. We've had great success. Several business owners who may not have been very well known in the region beforehand have definitely made themselves more well known after visiting us on the show. So we thank you. We encourage you all to begin to share the broadcast. Let people know that Heart for the Community Initiative is on. And hopefully our guests have already shared the YouTube link so their family and friends can see. For those of you who are not catching this in the live audience, but you're catching it on the playback, same rules apply. Please make sure you begin to share the broadcast. We're broadcasting live right now on Facebook and on YouTube on the Heart for the Community Initiative platform. So please be sure that you tag your family and friends. Let them know that Heart for the Community Initiative is on, and we're right at the beginning of episode 2 of the third annual Black Business Showcase. So we thank God we have 3 tremendous business owners with us today. We have Mr. Andre Powell of AMPT. We have Miss Tremaine Brown of World Financial Services. I think I got that right. Did I get it right, Miss Brown? All right. And we have,
World
go ahead,
Financial
Miss
Group.
Brown.
Yes,
Okay.
World Financial Group.
There we go. There we go. And we have Miss Chanel Ramos of Love and Light Doula Agency. I'm going to start with Mr. Andre Powell. I'm going to give him the microphone and the camera. He's going to introduce himself to you, and he's going to tell you a little about his business. Welcome in, Mr. Andre Powell with AMPT.
Great day, everybody. I pray that this finds you well. As mentioned, I am Andre Powell, also known as That Guy I Amped, on all social media platforms. So you can find me there. I wanted to tell you about Amped and Amped Brands. We are about changing lives. We're about standing up and making a change in the world that is effective for people's lives, for their well-being. We feature a few different entities that allow people to grow in who they are, knowing one, the dream and purpose that they're made for, two, allowing companies and organizations to really show and share what they're doing to change people's lives. And for us, it is a benefit, a true benefit for my team and I to work with other companies and organizations. First, AMP Speaks, Amped Me is me being able to speak and encourage people, coach others to really step out on the purpose that they have been absolutely godly made for. And the second piece is Amped Up Studios, which with this brand, as part of this Amped featured brand, we go out and we work with different companies, different organizations to really tell their stories of what's going on with their organizations, to really bring them out as they continue to change the lives of people. We bring those ideas to life through video. We make sure that we spend a lot of time in taking photos. We want to give the best appearance. So we also do some social media management as well. So if you are ever looking for us, make sure that you spend a time with us and come and check out Amped, That Guy Amped, Amped Up Studios. Our new website for Amped Up Studios will be live in the next month or so. We have some big things on the horizon, and we definitely want you to make sure that you come and check us out.
All right. And he's so bashful and so humble. Mr. Powell was not going to tell you that he is also the director of social media for Heart for the Community Initiative. So we appreciate him. He is our guy. Thank you, Mr. Powell. We're going to come back to you in a minute. Miss Tremaine Brown, I want you to introduce yourself to the audience, please, and tell us all something about your business.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tremaine Brown, and I have the pleasure of working with this awesome financial firm by the name of World Financial Group. I've been with them for almost 2 years, and it has been a tremendous pleasure to just watch how we can take our immediate crusade that we're on right now of No Family Left Behind, and help to change the lives of every person that we're able to meet with. Anything that you can think of in the light of financial services, we're able to provide. And a lot of people right now don't understand the power of leveraging their money and compound interest. And we're able to show people simple concepts so that they can jump right in and start saving for their future, stop paying taxes, in a way that's egregious and not allowing them to actually maximize their money. And also we can help them establish things for their family for the future. So just like the Rockefellers, they have generational wealth. Well, we help the average family create generational wealth. And it doesn't take, thousands of dollars, which is amazing for most people to hear. So we're able to go to all social economic statuses and help them to change their financial trajectory. So I'm super excited to be working with this renowned firm. And I pray that, as we talk more tonight, that I'll be able to, just inspire people that the way that of the future is actually through taking care of your financial domains. So I'm excited and happy to share what we do here at World Financial Group with you all.
And I know I got to listen to you. You said something about generational wealth, and
Yes.
that perked my hearing. And so we'll be glad to come back to you and let you tell us something about that. Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. All right, Ms. Chanel Ramos. I hope I said that correctly. Of Love and Light Doula Agency. Please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us something about your business.
Hi, everyone. I am Chanel Ramos, and I'm the owner of Love and Light Doula Agency. I started this business because I always loved everything about pregnancy, birth, and babies. Being a mother of 3 teenagers and a grandmother, I've also been a surrogate mother twice. So I've had 2 sets of twins as a surrogate. And so just having this love for this, it caused me to learn about doulas and started this doula agency where we help women, men, families. We have a service called Journey to Parenthood Support. And so we help people to get pregnant, whether through natural conception, IVF, or assisted reproductive medicine, or surrogacy. And then we also do labor support and postpartum support.
Wow, that is a mouthful. And Miss Ramos, I'm going to stay right here with you because this is so interesting. I've interviewed a lot of people, never a doula or doula agency. And I'm sure some people were like me when I first saw it. I said, what in the world is this? Right. So that's what made me want to reach out, and that made me want to do some research. This is so exciting. And to be honest with you, in our community, in the African American community, I don't hear a lot of people talking about doulas. Maybe that's just me in my little corner, but I want you to help us to understand the broad use of the doulas. I want you to get into the weeds of what you do, the services you provide. And we heard what you just said, but that was an overview, right?
Right.
Now, let's talk about those services when you're talking about before conception, during pregnancy. I even saw something on your website about travel assistance. You said something about surrogacy. My head is spinning. Tell us what you do as a doula agency, please.
So all doulas have different roles. Not all doulas do the exact same things. I mean, we all support families different ways, but every doula does different type of services. For me, the Journey to Parenthood Support is really an intimate part because it's people trying to get pregnant. And so everyone cannot get pregnant naturally. Everyone is not in a heterosexual relationship. Some people are in, homosexual relationships where they need to use different avenues to become parents. And so basically my job to do in that service is to guide people to pregnancy. So if you're trying to get pregnant naturally, then that's more like a fertility support, just like the things that you should eat, the things that you should avoid, the best times of conception based off ovulation. And then as far as like assisted reproductive medicine, I've had clients that cannot get pregnant on their own. So they have to go through a fertility clinic. So I know pretty much the best fertility clinics in the United States. And so I can offer that information like, okay, well, this is in your area. This is the best fertility clinic that you should go to. This is one of the best doctors that's there. And then when they go to the fertility clinic and they learn about, their testing and find out what type of assisted reproductive medicine that they have to use to get pregnant, then I can be there to answer any questions that they have about IVF or IUI or how the process works and what they should look for when, you know, they start going through their med cycle and if they have to do an embryo transfer, or if they have to get their eggs taken, or if they're going to use an egg donor, or if they're going to use a sperm donor. So it's a lot, you know, with fertility. And so that's another part. And then surrogacy, that's for people that cannot have their own children, whether they're in heterosexual or homosexual relationship. How do I find a surrogate? Whereas if they're not going through a surrogacy agency. So I pretty much help people that are going the independent route of surrogacy, what the steps are, pretty much starting from the beginning of what surrogacy is. Do you want traditional surrogacy? Do you want a gestational carrier, which is someone that carries your baby, but it's not their DNA at all, which is a type of surrogate I was, a gestational carrier. And then once you get there, okay, well, then what's the next steps? How do you find a lawyer? I know the best surrogacy versus lawyers throughout the United States. So it's pretty much just guiding them through that whole process. So I offer that, which is a virtual service. So it doesn't matter where you live. You can live anywhere in the United States or even overseas. If you plan on coming to the United States to use either a surrogate or a fertility clinic here, I can support you.
Wow. I'm going to ask one more question before I move on. Now, this is brand new information to me, maybe not to our juggernauts who are the other participants here, but new information to me. In your line of business, are your clientele of very diverse ethnicities, nationalities, races, or do you mainly deal with one sect of our society?
So I have multiple different races that I support, but majority are Black that I support. And I think it's really important because I don't want doula services for the Black community to feel like it's a luxury. It's really a necessity, especially with so many Black women. Like, we have the highest maternal mortality rate. And so it's really important that doula services be something that you put in your budget. I mean, get a doula, work out a payment plan if you have to, but in hospital settings, birthing center settings, even at home, if you choose a home birth, having a doula is really an important asset to have. It shouldn't be something that you like, oh, maybe if I can kind of do it. It's something that you should have.
Wow. I feel like I've been schooled. Thank you so much, Ms. Ramos. We're going to come back to you.
Welcome.
All right, Ms. Tremaine Brown. We're talking about financial services, and you had my attention when you said generational wealth, and it did not take thousands and thousands of dollars to do it. I know you're going to tell us about a few things, but could you do me a favor and start right there? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Most people are very, very excited about the generational wealth option. And a lot of times when we sit with families, they really think that what we're talking about is something new. But I just want to encourage all of you, what we share with our people that we meet with has been around since 1913. Now, those of us probably that's on this line, we're probably not thinking about or even thought of during that time. But what was so pivotal at that moment was that those who had a lot of money were like, look, the IRS has these tax codes that they're talking about, and they're talking about taking my hard-earned money, and I need to find a way to put it somewhere safe where they cannot manipulate it in the way that they want to, right? So that's when we come in. Generational wealth, the way we teach people to do it, we set up cash value life insurance appointments and applications, and you can start at any amount depending on your limitations. I'll put it like that. So most people that we've talked to here in the last couple months have started out at about $250,000. Now, depending on your health status and what you have going on, that's not going to cost you a whole bunch of money. So you can set it up where you do a one-time payment annually, or you can do monthly payments, quarterly payments. But the goal here and the strategy is to get it in something that's indexed, which means an index universal life option, where the IRS will then not be able to manipulate those funds. Why? Because it's in something that is locked. And what do I mean by that? Well, you know, the S&P goes up and down depending on what's going on with the different accounts that's in it, right? Well, with the index universal life, you're not subject to those losses that the economy is experiencing. That's why people who have 401ks have lost so much money over the years, because their money in their accounts are not guaranteed. Whatever's going on in the economy, you're going to feel that. Every loss, you're going to feel it. But with our options that we're able to offer through the Index Universal Life, you don't feel those losses. We do something where it's called locking in your growth. So that means if your account has $72,000 in it, when the S&P falls and loses 30% that day, guess what? All your friends are going to be crying and you're going to be happy. Why? Because you know that your money did not take a hit. And a lot of times people are like, well, that sounds too good to be true, Tremaine. And guess what? It is. But that's why we and my team that I work with are so adamant about getting into these different domains like this. That's why I'm so appreciative that you all have this opportunity for us to share this, because the financial advisors now that are in place, they're not coming to those people that look like me and you. They're not coming to the homes and coming into the mediums like this, where people are not making $1.2 to $3 million a year. Why not? Because that's not going to benefit them. But the great thing about us at World Financial Group, we work to benefit the client. And I mean, there is no one size fit all. Well, hey, you do a $250,000 policy and you do this. No, I sit down with somebody like Carl, the AMP guy, and Chanel, right? And I find out what your goals are. I find out, what's more important to you. And then we set up a plan that's according to what your goals are. And the beautiful thing I love and that we can guarantee everybody is that once you start with us, you will never lose a dime of your money. That's right there is what made me lock into this company and commit to learning the concepts. Because from day one, you know that your stuff is guaranteed. What we put on paper when we do your illustration with you, you are guaranteed to know, hey, in 10 years, I'm going to have this much money. In 15 years, I'm going to have this much money. And there's another caveat that I want to bring up probably a little later. That's just a icing on the cake. But the generational wealth part, you can save your family and change your family name with $200 a month, $100 a month. And if it's really bad, we can set something up where you can just start with $50 a month. There is no situation that we can't come and meet. No.
Well, I tell you what, I like cake and I like icing, so we're definitely gonna come back. And I like money, and I don't think Chanel and Andre are gonna disagree. We all could do more with a little money. And I don't love or worship money, but I sure like it a lot.
Yes,
Thank you, Ms. Tremaine Brown. We appreciate that. We're definitely gonna come back. All right, Mr. Andre, man, listen, that guy Amped. Amp, you guys are doing so much in the community, so much work that really means a lot. I want you to tell us something about what you're doing, some specific projects, and how those things are going.
Oh, awesome. No, this is probably one of my favorite subjects most recently. I am currently, my team and I are currently working with a organization called Journey to Destiny Ministries, and it's focused around human trafficking and the prevention of that, while saving and securing living for people that have been survivors of this situation in other countries. And so currently we are working on a project with them called the Dream Again Project. We've been raising funds for this project to go do some filming down in the Dominican Republic to actually go ahead and tell some of the stories of some of the survivors. They're no longer victims because they aren't in it anymore, but they are survivors that are turning their lives around, that are having an opportunity to have safe, secure housing, education at their fingertips, vocational training, all of these things that might not have been available to them before. We're going to be able to go down to the Dominican Republic and tell some of their stories, along with building a campaign around this Dream Again project that will really go out and, Lord willing, bring in more sponsors, bring in more partnerships with other organizations and companies to make sure that every girl, every person that is affected by Journey to Destiny Ministries will be covered. Sponsors will come. Buildings will be built. There are a number of projects that are going on. I know that we recently assisted in something dealing with their new class in Kenya. And because of some of our promotions and things that we've put together at this point, all of the girls are sponsored. And so for us, for me, that's a win. That's a huge win. We weren't able to be there, but because we were out there putting the word out, January was Human Trafficking and Modern Slavery Prevention Month. And we spent a lot of time putting out facts through Journey to Destiny Ministry and on their social media platforms to really bring people's attention to this global pandemic that's really happening, that some people say, oh, we want to talk about it. And others are like, yeah, it's not affecting us right now, but it is. And so that's just one of the projects we're working on. We work currently with a few designers. We got booked recently to go to New York Fashion Week next weekend to do some filming. So we'll be doing some filming and some photography out there to put together some reels and things for our client. And we just love what we do. It gives an opportunity for others to see what's going on out there, what's available. It brings some of these concepts, these social issues to the forefront, and really touches the hearts of the people to say, hey, you need to do more. I need to do more. We've been looking for reasons to do more. Here's an opportunity. And so that's one of our big pushes for right now.
Wow. My mind is blown by these three business owners here tonight. And I hope that you all are learning as much as we do. And just in case you're wondering, normally whenever I do a show, we do it live. I don't do a lot of taping, and I don't do a lot of pre-broadcast work because I like to have a very natural and organic conversation. So I'm learning just like they are. Now, one thing I like to bring out when I have business owners here is the uniqueness of their business. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if that's a fair question because all of these business owners and their businesses are unique to me. But I'm going to start with Miss Ramos with the doula agency, and I'm sure there are other doula agencies out there. And I'm not asking you to compete per se, but I'm sure that when you were developing your company, everybody has a niche. And I'm trying to find out what is your niche. I want you to tell the audience when they come to the Love and Light Doula Agency, what will happen with them there in their experience that they may not experience with another doula agency.
Well, the service that I spoke about first, that's a service that I created specifically for my agency because of my specific experiences that I've had as being a surrogate and being pregnant through natural conception. I've also been pregnant through IVF, and I've also been a surrogate. So that service alone is only mine, and I don't know any other doula agency that offers it. So that's one thing that sets me apart. I think my mission statement sets me apart too. I don't really even see many doula agencies that have mission statements, and if they do, it's not comparable to mine. Mine is trust in people. It's really simple, but it means a lot to me because without people, the business can't run and I can't support anyone. But without their trust, then I can't continue to support people. They have to be able to trust me to know that me and my other doulas are going to do our best by them, that we have their best interests at heart, that all the information that we give them, all the support that we give them is coming from like a good place because we're passionate about it. And that, the people that refer people to me, like all the people that I've networked with, other business owners, doctors, fertility clinics, other even lawyers, that all the people that refer different people to me, they have to trust me too. And they have to trust that whoever they refer to me is going to have a good experience. And so I think that's what sets my business apart.
Well, Ms. Ramos, you're in the trust business.
Yeah,
and
so
so
very intimate.
thank you for sharing that. And so are you, Ms. Brown. Now, listen, when you get to dealing with people's money, that can be funny. People do get funny with their money. And especially when you say you're not going to lose. Most people understand investment as being a gamble. And I think that our lack of knowledge of investing really prevents us from investing and creating not that generational wealth, not just that, because we want to pass something on to our children, but we want to live a certain lifestyle while we're here. And so I want you to explain to our audience when we come to you, your services and your company, what do we experience uniquely with you that we may not experience when we invest with others?
Yes, well, I would definitely have the same sentiment as Ms. Ramos. We definitely live and breathe by our crusade of no family left behind. We're not in a rush for you to choose to do something with us. The clients have the power and the clients are the focus. What I love about those that I'm training with and who I work with on this amazing team is that we're not money motivated in the way that, hey, I'm going to make you do something that's going to make me the most dime. But when we sit and meet with each client, we're looking at somebody's future. And that's so important to us. Most of the people that I've been able to talk with, they don't think that this is even possible. So my thing that is important to me and that's unique for me and those that I deal with is that I am a hope bringer. I give people the information and I'm not trying to press them into a decision. So yeah, some people take time. So they ask millions of questions. I'm here for it because our crusade is important. No family left behind. We need their trust. Yes. We want them to be in the better situation because we have come into their lives. So that's what pushes us and motivates us and keeps us going and also guides our decisions with what we present to them. You're muted. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. The professional, right? Thank you, Ms. Brown. We appreciate that information. Mr. Andre, when we start dealing with AMPed, there are a lot of organizations that do the type of things that you do. Now, I don't know if anybody's doing exactly what you're doing in these events that you shared with us, but what makes our experience with you unique? And I know that dealing with what you do, I'm sure part of your funding, probably a portion of it, comes from those in the community who recognize what you're doing and give. So when we want to invest or share some of our finances with AMP, so you can do the work that you do, what unique experience will we have with AMP?
So awesome. For me, it is very much held on the cornerstone of living an amped life. And this is one thing that that guy Amped always talks about. It's in every inch of the company from the beginning in concept to where it is now. And it's based off of the scripture, John 10:10. And ultimately, my reminder for everyone that we talk to is your life wasn't meant to be mediocre. And some of us settle for mediocre and live other people's dreams, but God has given us purpose and given our lives a meaning that for so many, we choose not to share it. One, because we either don't understand it, we're afraid of what it might look like to actually get out there, and we don't hear enough stories about people being successful in it. And so with Amped Up Studios, our endeavor is to show that, hey, you can make it too. You can try it. Take the risk. Believe God in what you're doing and live the purpose that you've been made for. And so we tell the stories. We share the stories. There are limitless possibilities to what we can do with you and with your stories. And so for us, we spend a lot of time dealing with the community. And so we ask for the community to partner with us in some of these opportunities. Like currently, we have a GoFundMe for the Dream Again project. And as part of that, it allows us to go down there and not charge anything for the services that we're doing for this organization. So we are being a benefit to an organization that's already asking for people for funds to help sponsor the people that are in these journey centers. We couldn't see ourselves saying, hey, we need this dollar amount for you all to get the help that you need. What will we look like? And so for us, it is always our endeavor to really, truly tell the stories that people need to hear, that will encourage people to live the life that God has purposed them for. If nothing else, that's our ultimate goal.
Man, I don't know what else you can say after that. This is amazing. What is it, if there was a nugget that you would want people to know about you? And this part I really love. I want you guys to tell your story. And I'm going to start with Ms. Brown. There had to be something that led you to this business, maybe a personal experience, maybe a passion. What is your story? The story behind the story. Why do you get up every day, push so hard to maintain, other than paying your bills? It has to be something that you love to do, has to be a reason, because this is what you're doing. Can you tell us your story?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Well, but my why for this company specifically, I'm very passionate about being able to become a philanthropist. And then with my own just personal financial journey, I want to be in a much better place than I am right now. And this company, was presented to me in a way that can meet my personal needs. However, with sitting with the agent and them telling me about, their why and what the company believes in, I said, whoa, well, this will allow me to do ministry work and also meet a tangible need for somebody all in one appointment. I said, I have to do this. We focus on faith, family, fun, finances, and fitness. Those are the 5 concepts. And when you look at that, that's how I want my life to be. I want my life to be abundance in every way. And right now, this company is a medium that provides that. They train you well, but they also protect your future well. And I just love I love everything about the company, but I think most importantly, I love what we're able to do for people. There's no limit to how we can help people. From the person who has nothing to the millionaire, we can do something for them. So I just love that concept. And for me, it's teaching me that, one, I don't know nothing about money, and two, it's also showing me that where I want to be is actually realistic. Because right now, where I am is nowhere near where I want to be. So that's my
That
why.
is that's great. I really like that. Thank you. And I love that when our participants come on and just be transparent, because sometimes people looking on, they think that we have arrived, right? And many of us have not. We're striving to get there. All business owners are not millionaires, not yet. But all of us have a story and a path to try to get to the level of success that we're trying to attain. Miss Ramos, what's your why? What's your passion? What's your story? What in the world happened to you, or happened through you, or what did you see that made you have such a passion for a doula agency?
So about 2010, I wanted to be a labor and delivery nurse, and I had went to college. I had did majority of my prerequisites, and then it was time to go to the nursing program. But I'm a single mom, and back then I could not figure out how I could support my family on. They said, "But you can only work 10 hours a week." I'm like, okay, there's no way I could support my family on 10 hours a week. And so I had to let that dream go. And it was something that really bothered me for a long time because it was something that I wanted to do. But I don't think that back then I had as much determination to make it happen. Now, looking back, I probably could have figured out a way to make it work. I just couldn't figure out how then. And so then when I had my first surrogate twins in 2017, I had a pretty traumatic birth. And I had found out about doulas afterwards, and it was like a light bulb had went off for me. I'm like, oh, well, I can be a doula and I can support someone this way, and I don't have to be a nurse to be able to do this, as well as, wanting to be in that space to make sure that what I went through during that labor don't happen to someone else, not being heard, being overly medicated, feeling like my concerns were being like swept under the rug. I didn't want that for someone else. And so that got me started into learning more about doulas. And even then, it still took me like to 2021 to start my business because I allowed myself to be swayed to other business directions. I had a bookkeeping business for a bit. And I just was like, okay, that's not my calling. Like, even though I was good at it, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing something that deals with pregnancy and birth and babies and families. But that's fear of like, well, you already started this business. How are you going to get rid of that business? And then you already put in so much money in being a bookkeeper and having a bookkeeping company. How are you going to let that go and close that business and start a whole other business? But I finally mustered up the courage to do it. And I started this business in September 1st of 2021. And it's been a journey, just trying to like get my name out there, get people to like know me and know like what I do and how I can really support them, and that like this is really my soul work and it's not a fly by night type of situation. I've always loved everything about this type of work, and now I can actually do it. And then also my children have been like a really big motivator for me, because I know what it's like to struggle, and I know what it's like to be a single mom. I've been a single mom majority of my life with them, raising them, and my kids are 19, 17, and 15 at this point. And so I know what it's like to take care of them all on my own. And it's like the generational thing is really important to me too, because I want to build my company to a place where, you know, I have created generational wealth for my family and for my children. And also to be able to show them, if I can do this, that they can do it too. Whatever that they dream of or really want, it, they can watch me and be like, well, my mom made this happen out of nowhere and she came from nothing and she really got it out of the mud, you know, and they can as well. And just to be able to touch the lives of so many different families. This is a very intimate business, and you're going into people's homes, you're going into people giving birth, you know, into hospitals or the birthing centers. And this is something that I really want to be able to show my passion through, as well as my other doulas. And I'm really big on also making sure that my doulas are able to make a living wage, because it's important. They have families. Every doula that I have working with me, they have children, they have families, they have to be able to support them financially. It's like, yeah, we have this passion and we move with it, but we also have responsibilities as well. And so that's pretty much how I feel about that. And that's how I got to this place.
I think you nailed it. Thank you for sharing your story. It's amazing to me because, like I said, some people don't understand the journey, right? And when you business owners, entrepreneurs, when you guys share your story, it makes it more realistic. Some people are really trying to find a path to get there. All of us don't come from an environment where we were around other entrepreneurs. And sometimes we just need somebody to point us in the right direction and encourage us to take a little risk, right? So I appreciate you all sharing your story. All right, brother Andre, what is your story, man? What drives you to do this? You could be doing a lot of things, and I know that you are a multi-talented person. Why this, brother? What's your story?
So it is a great opportunity to work with people. My father would tell me all the time, you don't really know a stranger. And for the longest time, I didn't really know what that meant. And it took me growing up and really getting to know myself and know God to see what he was actually saying. And it was pricked by a conversation that I had with a gentleman at the Roslyn metro station. He said, I said, you know, being my very approachable, very outgoing self, I said, hey, how are you doing this morning? And he said, I'm just living the dream. And for me, I was like, oh, but are you really living the dream? And he just kind of looked at me really puzzled and confused. And he's like, why would you ask me that? Well, you said as a response to good morning, how you doing? I'm just living the dream. And that conversation turned into a conversation that I will never forget. We ended up standing in Roslyn metro station for a good 30 minutes, just kind of talking about what his dream was. And I was like, well, why aren't you doing it? Like, why? Well, I do it here and there, but why don't you put funds into actually getting it done? And little did I know, one, I was talking to him because, one, I don't know a stranger, and two, this is where God has aligned me to be talking to people, to coaching people, to being creative. So creating with people and storytelling. So that wrapped up in a nutshell is part of my story. As a youngster, I've always been a hustler, if you will. From the age of 12, I started a shoe shine business because I wanted a PlayStation 2. They were relatively brand new around that time, and I wanted my own PlayStation 2. My mom said, you might need to get a job if you want a PlayStation 2. And so that was kind of the drive, the motivation to start just building businesses and figuring out how I could work it. And there was a general by the name of Alonzo Short who took a liking to me. And he was impressed by my work ethic and my desire to elevate my situation, if you will, at 12. And he said, hey, I will make sure every time I see you, I have a pair of shoes for you. Little did I know it would be the same pair of shoes that I had done the week before, or a few pairs of shoes that he had in his closet and so on. But he invested in me that way. And so that is something that also perpetuates in everything that I do. I want to help others. That is my desire in everything, whether it's coaching, whether it's being a motivational speaker, whether it's praying them through as a preacher, whether it's behind the camera telling their story. I love people and I want to help people tell their story.
Wow. I really am blown away by you business owners. And I'm hoping that the audience is feeling the connection also. You have really not only told us about what you do and the products and services that you have, but you've told us about yourself. And it is amazing. We're going to begin to wrap this episode up. Y'all listen, we're only in episode 2. We got several more to go for the month, but this is just delicious to me. I'm going to start with Ms. Ramos, then go to Ms. Brown, and then to Mr. Powell. I want you to give the audience some information about your business. If you have something going on, some special events, special programs, maybe you have one of your products or services on sale, or maybe this would be the time for you to give your elevator speech. I'll start with you, Ms. Ramos. What do you want the audience to know about your business?
Well, I just want them to know that if you need help getting pregnant, you can give me a call. And it doesn't matter where you live. So even if you know or you have family or friends that live anywhere in the United States or even overseas, as long as they can speak English, then you can have them reach out to me through my website. They can just fill out the contact form. But also, I do labor support. And so if you're having a baby anytime soon and you would like that support, we can go over how that looks for you and how I can support you or how one of my doulas can. And if you just had your baby and you brought the baby home and you're like, okay, now what do? I offer postpartum support, so I can come and, help you figure out like how your baby is doing, how to feed the modalities for your baby, even help cook or clean or just anything that can get you started with your new transition into parenthood.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Ramos. All right, Mrs. Brown, what do you want the office to know about what you're doing there?
Well, this is fantastic February. So if you are on the line and you're actually a motivated individual who might be interested in being your own business owner and having a stream of income, we're definitely running an awesome promotion this month because we want to bring in as many people to help us with this crusade. So if you think that's something that you might be interested in, I definitely want to talk to you, especially this month. Also, for those of you who maybe want to see what our strategies are, it's a complimentary meeting, so no charge. You don't have to have any money. We'll sit down, we'll talk about our goals that we have for you as the client, and then also you can share your goals and we can put together a free strategy for you to maximize your money. There is no amount of money too small for us to find something to help you secure your 2023. So if you have not met with a financial professional at all this year yet, and it's only February, I definitely would love to hear from you and also help you.
All right, thank you. Now, we know that Ms. Ramos is up there in Baltimore. Where are you located, Ms. Brown?
Yes, I am here in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay, wonderful. The 757. I hail from the 757. That's right.
And also to that note, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. There's somebody that we have in place to help get your financial services up and going. So all 50 states, Puerto Rico and Canada, we're here to serve you.
That's good information. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. All right, Mr. Powell, what you got, sir?
So Amped Up Studios offers videography services, social media management services, and photography services. So if you need anything in those areas, make sure that you check out Amped Up Studios. If you are a business owner or want to be a business owner or just need that life coach kind of hand held, hit me up on my calendar, have that 30-minute consultation, and just see where you are in your process. Let's talk about it. Sometimes it requires us just talking about it to really set that spark ablaze so that you can get the business started as well as moving forward. Our lives weren't meant to be mediocre. So, as I tell everybody, know that I love you. God loves you even more. And until next time, always live an amp life.
I love that. Thank you, business owners. I sincerely appreciate your presence and the fact that you have shared so much information about yourselves and what you do. This is what I want to say to the audience. I want to tell you something. Every year, Heart for the Community, for the past 3 years, and we'll do it going into the future, during Black History Month, we want to put the spotlight on the Black-owned businesses in the DMV region. Now, I want you to know we don't charge the business owners anything for coming onto the platform. It is our service to you, the community. Right now, you know about 3 businesses that you may not have known about before, 3 different services, 3 wonderful people who come to you representing these businesses. But I tell you, Heart for the Community Initiative is a community help organization. And because of your donations, we're able to stay in the community and do some of the things that we do. So scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now is some information that will allow you to give. If the Lord has moved on your heart to be a donor of Heart for the Community Initiative and the many, many things that we do here in the Rappahannock region, up in Prince William County, throughout Virginia. And listen, we're not afraid to venture into DC and Baltimore. If there is a call and there is a need that we can meet, we shall certainly do so. So I want to thank you, audience, for being with us. Those of you who caught us in the live audience and those of you who are catching us on the replay, don't forget to, number one, share this broadcast so other people can know about these tremendous business owners. But secondly, now that you know about Love and Light Doula, now that you know about World Financial Group, now that you know about that guy Amped, give them a call, give them an email, shout them out on your social media. Let them know that you have seen this video. And listen, if you need their services, we want you to contact them. All right? We support our Black-owned businesses in the DMV region, and we want you to do so also. I want to say to Ms. Chanel, Ms. Tremaine, and Mr. Andre, thank you so much for coming to share your tremendous stories and your businesses with us. And listen, I don't want this to be the end of our relationship. Let's stay in contact. We have each other's contact information. And hopefully between now and next year, your businesses will grow and you can come back and write us a testimonial about what has happened to you. Until next time, y'all. Now listen, we're going to be back on Saturday, the Heart for the Community Initiative 3rd Annual Black Business Showcase is going to be back on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We're going to have Cooking with Mimi, Miss Army Copeland Hardy. We're going to have Cali Elite, Mr. Jeffrey Legree. And we're going to have Mr. Michael Clarkson from Yummy Butter. All right. We're looking forward to a tremendous broadcast. 3 more business owners doing very unique businesses. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. Until next time, may God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And don't forget to support these businesses. Bye-bye for now.